Hi everyone, this is Carolyn again from Known as Nutty Crafts, where you can follow me on Etsy, Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So I look forward to seeing y'all. Subscribe and everything to them all, and be a part of my little groups. They're all free, so that makes it great. So let me get this out of the way. Whoops. I got the witch's legs in my hand, because we're going to do part 2 of doing the witch's legs. So, that being said, hopefully my iPad won't go off on me like it did before, but I apologize for that. There's not much I can do when these things start doing what they want. So bear with, okay? So I've gone ahead and done some second coats and stuff on this. And again, this is a whimsical little guy. And we're going to go ahead and do some highlights and things in here just to make it a little bit more fun. Okay? Oops. Oops. Hold on. Hold, please. All right, there we go. I have this on my thing here so that I can what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. So hold on. Okay, got it. So now what we're going to do, we're going to add some little touches to this. So we're going to take our white paint. Oops, I don't know why I'm opening. I'm at the end of the bottle with this one. And remember what I said before, you can use the back of your paintbrushes for doing like little dotty things. So you can decide, take, you know, a bunch of your paintbrushes and decide which one of the bottoms you want to do. If you want it big, let's try this one. I think that's going to be too big. So I want something in between. Had some out here before I was playing around. All right, and what I'm going to do is just add some little dots on this, just to make it a little bit more fun. And you can make the dots go any way you want. We're going to put lines there. And it just kind of gives a little bit of a highlight to what you're doing. Makes it a little bit more fun. And you can do as many as you want. 3 seems to always be kind of a good number. Oops, sorry. Even though it's on mute, it's sometimes those things keep sneaking through. And that's all that I'm doing. There's no rhyme or reason to this. And we're just having fun. Let me move this over here so I'm not reaching across the table. Okay, so see, that wasn't hard. Now what we want to do is put like a little curly do, like a little extras, however the words you want to say, just a little. Now you can use a brush, and you can use a thinner brush if you want to use that to do it. I like using the backs of my brushes for this as well, but you can do it however you want. And I'm just going to start here, and I'm just going to go like this, like that. That's all I'm doing. Now, what you can also use is one of these paint markers too. Oh, this doesn't have a label on it. Okay, and this is by Craftsmart. You can find it at Michael's. I have a black and a white one here. I can use that as well. And those are good because if you do want to go over it, because it's more of a defined line, it makes it a little bit easier to go over it if you feel you need to. I think I might need some more paint. Hold on. Okay. And these can be as long or as short as you want them to be. Again, whimsical. No right or wrong. I have to go reverse on that one because it's the way my hand likes to draw it. Let me get some more paint in here. Oops, cut it on my table. No. And they don't have to be as curvy. Again, it is just to make this a little bit more fun. So now what we're going to do, I don't know if you remember from part 1, I talked about I drew just a little bit of line down here. And what we're going to do, where we're going to take our paintbrush. Let me find my paintbrush that I want to use. And we're going to make like a white line, just kind of the same thing that we did in here, but just a straight little white line going down. Let me see my paintbrushes. I don't want one that's too thick. Okay. And if you're not sure, draw it on a piece of paper towel or something. And this is just going to be a fun line. Again, just fun. Nothing big, nothing elaborate. It's just to get a little definition in here. That's it. Not hard, was it? So now we're going to add just a little bit, the same kind of line just around the edges here. And again, just to give the boots and stuff some sort of definition. Like we have no definition on the heels and everything here as well. So we're going to do that. We can overlap on top of the circles. It doesn't matter what we're going to do. I'm going to start on this side. And we're just going to go down, just randomly put the lines. However long you want to make it, it's up to you. And see how it just kind of gives a little bit more definition to the boot? See? See the difference between the two? Make them thicker, you can make them narrower, doesn't matter. And we're going to do the same thing with this as well. Just going to come in here, give some more definition. You can come around like that. See? I'm going to hold off going up at the top of the boot there because we still have to put our definitions in here. Oh. Miss anything? You can go back if you want it just a little bit darker, whatever, and see how the difference, it starts bringing that boot to life with just a little thing like that. Now what we want to do on the buckle here, we want to make some lines. I'm going to use black and white, kind of the same thing that we'll be using up here. And again, whimsical little lines. Just want to move. I'm not going to be using yellow and orange, I don't think. Or purple. So let me just move my paintbrushes a little closer instead of me reaching all the way up there. Get a few of them out here. Decide again which one I want to use. So in doing this, we're just going to draw lines, the same thing. You can do something on a diagonal if you want to. Again, I could use smaller dots in there if I want to do that. But I'm just going to take some white and some black, and I'm just going to draw lines. Again, whimsical. Oops. Let me turn it this way, I think. Hopefully you guys can still see it. Let me make sure you guys can. Okay. This dries pretty fast. Again, whimsical little lines. However many you want to put in. I just don't want to hit the little dots. And it's just to give some definition on the buckle. Now I'm putting them kind of far apart because we're going to go back and we're going to use some black in here as well. Now, if I don't like that one, take a wet paper towel while it's still wet, and we can clean it off. And then I can come back with my paintbrush and finish it. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing with the black. And deciding if I want to go top or bottom, doesn't matter. I'm just going to bring it right close to the where the white line is. I'm also going to outline this in the black. Gives it just a little bit more definition. Like you want to turn these things upside down and backwards to make it work for you. And I'm using the as you can see, the cap lid. I think I might do black underneath this as well. We'll see. I'm using the brace of this to hold my hand steady because otherwise I'd be all over the place. It's a little wavy, but it's whimsical. Oops, where's my thing? I'm going to wind up knocking that cap off on me. I know it. It just defines it. Even though it's black on black. I'm coming a little bit on top of that orange there. Okay, so that's our little whimsicals. Now once that dries, I may bring just some white, like do these little doohickeys in there. But let's get to this baby. So remember I said it doesn't matter about the lines because we're going to have some fun. Where's my other paintbrush? Here it is. And we're going to bring some black in here. Kind of doing the same thing with the lines down there. And we're just going to bring some black in here just to give it some definition. Whimsical. Let me pour some of this in here. Here's the other half of my tray. I took all my ones with all my little compartments and I washed them and I forgot to bring them back. So see how it just defines it? And again, I'm bracing my hand on here on the rail to hold it a little bit steady because you know you're like, oh, you're trying to get it so nice and neat. This is whimsical. It's not supposed to be perfect. Sometimes you get that like, oh, going with your hand. Oops. Gotta find just that right way you want to do the angle on this. I'm bracing my hand on the other one because the little white dots are underneath here and I don't want to hit them and smudge them. Just don't think about this too much. Like, oh, my line has to be perfect like that. Nope, not on this project. Didn't do the top part. Now this, you can make it curvy, you can make it straight. It's really up to you which way you wanted to go on this one. I'm going to make mine a little curvy, just because I'm following the way the rail is on there. So see, definition. Now we'll come back in with white down here. Those little white lines. Flip it again to give you some definition of where the boot actually ends or begins. And really, you all, that's about it. So this is painter's tape. So I took it off, and see, that's probably the only straightest line on this entire thing that I have. And I think what I'll do is do some white line right here. And this is one of those projects, sometimes you got to look at it and you come back to it, you look at it, you know, to give it some definition here. I think we got it, y'all. Look how fun that is. I could do a little bit here in the buckle. I think we're going to stop there, y'all. So see, this was part 2 of the witch's legs. I did the other one. You will see that one. And then come to this one, which is part 2. That's really about it. Now I could add in the circles, and I think I might add something more in these circles just because they do look so big, and I'm thinking maybe just a couple of dots or a dot. Let's see if one dot will work. So I'm going to take the back of this paintbrush. Oops, my paintbrush was leaving the table actually. This is a little bit bigger. Let's see, I think this was the same one we used. Should I go that way? Huh? Decisions, decisions. Maybe not. I think I'll leave it. But what I can do is this. Take my thin brush. Let's try this. We're going to try it on one. See if we like it. Nope, don't like it. So let's fix that right away. And if I take off some of the green, it's okay, because I can repaint the green. Here we go. Voila, done. So that's it. So now what I'm going to do, once this really dries really well, I'm going to go ahead and do a spray on it to seal it. And then it will be, I usually do about 2 coats of that. I just saw I got some on that purple there, and I don't like that. And I will go ahead and seal this baby with a couple of coats front and back. Oh, I need more paint. There we go. And I'll let that dry and probably put another coat on it too. There we go. That's better. And that's all she wrote, y'all. So look for this on my YouTube channel along with part 1. And when it's all finished, it'll be nice and have a little bit of a shine to it. I don't go for a real glossy, just a little bit of a shine to it. And what I'll do is I'll clean up on the edges. Actually, we can do that now because I got my paintbrush here, the one I use. So I'll look at the edges, and any of the paint that has come down on the edges, I just take a thin brush and I'll just go along the edge. I don't bring it like this because the bristles will fall over on the top, and you don't want to have to try to repaint something that you've already painted a lot of on top, that you've taken so much time. And this is just cleaning, I call it like the cleanup. Any paint that's on the back side of this, if, you know, by shifting, if it got on my parchment paper here. And you can use whatever. If you want to use a vinyl tablecloth, use that. It's up to you. And all I'm doing is just painting right over that. Cleaning up my edges. You don't want to give somebody a nice project that you spent so much time on painting, and then your edges and everything just look horrible. And if there's any paint on the back, I have a little bit of green here. I'll paint it all up and make sure that it's all taken care of. Because you know, you see things and you get something from somebody that you order, and you see how the paint is here. You know, just take the time, put this down, and just clean it up. It looks much nicer and neater, and that you really care about your projects. And that's why black is your friend. For this especially, because it will cover up everything. If you use a white, now depending what you're painting, let me grab this part. You know, it'll depend what your backing is going to be. When I do painting on wood, where I'm using the base as a stain type backing, which I really like to paint on that and do accents on that, and that's a little bit more detailed. Some of that painting that I do with that. A lot of shading, because you can't hide it if it's on a stain. Of course, you gotta have good lighting to see all these little doohickeys. I think I got that side. So you flip it, and you do it. And again, choose the paintbrush that works best for you. I like this one for some of these. I don't want to do anything really wide, because then you risk globbing on one side or the other. And this is pretty much the width of what this is, the thickness of this. So it works perfect for it. And of course, check the other side. Oops. See, I got a boo-boo there. Get your paper towel. Oops. Let me get another paper towel. I may be taking off some of the orange on this, so I may have to go back and repaint that, but it's all fixable. See how it comes off? Just like an eraser, y'all. And that's light enough where I can go ahead and paint over it. So black can be your friend on one thing, but then on another thing, it may not be. That might come off really easy. think it was on this side. Yep, here I am. Oops, there's my black. That's all you want to do, just clean up your edges. Need a little bit more black. Let's get that little part of the foot over there. I don't know if you guys can see this. It's kind of hard to angle this so you can see it, but hopefully you'll be able to see it. And over here. Now, some people might want to wait to do this part after they do everything. Again, it is your choice. I choose, you always should put a clear coat or something as a base. So like for this, black was my base on this particular project. And it just made it easy to paint it all now before. And since I'm going to have black shoes, made a lot of sense. I think I got it all. Oh, nope, see right here. I think I got it all. It's kind of like one of those things, those little nips and crannies. You're like, oh my gosh, where are you? So we're going to fix those there. So we had orange. Oops. Let's turn this baby around so that I don't have to worry about dabbing on those guys. Make it kind of all even. Since I'm putting on a coat over there, I just want to go through the whole thing just to make it even. Because you don't want to have one side looking like it's more painted than another. That wouldn't be good. Sometimes you're concentrating so hard you forget you have an audience of people watching. Because you can't see them. Okay. We got it. We'll just let that dry overnight. We'll let all this dry overnight. I'm not going to worry about trying to heat dry it or anything. And that's all that it is, y'all. So I'll turn it this way so you guys can see it. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way. Whew, I got black paint on me. Wonder where the black paint came from. Let me see if I get this all in the frame for you. So that's all that it is, the witch's legs. I will be doing part 3, which is doing the top. Once all this is dry, I'll have this seal all this first, and then I'll go ahead and I'll seal up here too. I will, once that's dry, clean up any of these little misfits on the back, because you want your back just as much clean as your front. All right, so that's it. So thank you for coming to Nona's Nutty Crafts, and I'll see you next time for part 3. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel.